Are we live? We're live on YouTube. Hello, everybody. Oh, we've got some people here. Look. Wow. Loads of comments before we even started. Hello, Judith. Listen. We're live on YouTube. Hello, shit. Hang on. I always do this. Oh, I've got some people here. Looking to turn off my... Hello, Margaret Kozikowski. Salam. Yeah, I've been, thanks for saying that, because I've been saying salam alaikum a lot. I can't believe how much Arabic I remember. I'm not great, but, you know, I get by, which is good. It's such a lovely language, Arabic. People think it sounds rough, but it's, if you're not used to it, but it's full of love to the creator. It's full of family, you know, respect for family, and also they're wonderful people, which is why I was happy to live in a Muslim country for 4 years, to learn, you know, not to be afraid of them, because they keep trying to divide everybody with fear. Hello, Elaine Iverson. I don't know how to pronounce your name, Elaine, because I've never actually spoken to you, but I will see you in Manchester, I believe. Hello, Tanya Chambers. Hi, Mike Hawkins. How you doing? Hello, Victoria Klink. All Mike's in South Africa. Brilliant. I need to go there. I want to go and see Tabletop Mountain. I want to see the UFOs come out of Tabletop Mountain. Tanya Chambers, Mr. Magic is live. Is that me? I'm not Mr. Magic. Karen Bielsdeveld. Hello. Mary Ann Howard. Matish. Sorry if I get your names wrong. I'll do my best. Do you know what? Let's just get Lewis on. How's Lewis? How's it going, Lewis?
Whoa, you're on your treadmill.
Hey, look.
Man, there couldn't be anything more sexy than that.
Well, first time we spoke, I was in my underpants. Now I'm in swimming trunks.
Yeah, so you're moving on up. So 4 more and you'll be in a tux.
You're never going to get me in a tux again. I used to have to wear tuxes all the time when I was in the military. I used to quite like it back then, but I was very impressionable.
You were very impressionable, huh?
Well, we've got a couple of hundred people here. Well, it's very nice to see you again. I know it's early in the morning for you, is it? Early in the morning for you?
It's 7 a.m.
Okay. I always get up early, and but, you know, time difference. Here I am. I've just been quad biking on the beach this morning, meditating, and lovely empty beaches, because there's hardly anybody here. I'm sorry for the echo. We're in a big villa with lots of echo. What are we going to talk about, Lewis? Are we going to talk about the tour?
The tour? What tour?
The Truth Tour to the sequel.
Sure. We can talk about the Truth Tour. We can talk about the I believe we're in the transition to greatness, and it's time for more positivity and less negativity.
100%. And that's why I'm traveling, you know, because I just want to get out and meet people and share uplifting stories and make people laugh. And, you know, I went to a wedding on Saturday, and my friend's best man was too ill to be there. And we'd had a few drinks. We all sat on this beautiful long table in this gorgeous place in Marrakesh. And somebody came up, my friend of mine came up, so he said, "You've got to do you've got to do a speech." And I went, "I can't do a speech." "You've got to do a speech." I was like, "What, really? What now?" And I looked at my friend, and he went, "No." And then his new wife went, yes. And then he went, "Okay, yes." So I stood on this chair, you know, about 100 people, and I just did a speech in like 2 minutes and had them laughing, got a standing ovation. I was really happy, because when you're living in the present moment, everything comes to you. Right? If you've got a good vibe and energy and you're spreading that, this is why I think the tour is so great. For those that don't know, Lewis organized a Truth Tour. I did a Zoom-in performance in Las Vegas, and then we never actually met, even though I'd forgotten to reply to his email for 22 months or something. And but we finally met, and we were talking. I said, "I've got to do this tour." I mean, you invited me. I didn't just invite myself. But I thought, I'm going to do the whole thing. So I'm going to America, for you guys watching that don't know, in a few weeks. And then I'm going to get to know Lewis really well, intimately.
Yeah, we'll spoon, I'm sure.
Those are pillows!
I love that. I know exactly what you're talking about.
You see the game last night? Yeah.
Yeah. How about them Bears? Oh, it's funny.
Look, we already get the same references, because we're both like 50-something. You're 50-something?
Yes, we are. I am 50-something.
Yeah, because you're a bridge.
I've been told. I've been told.
That? Yeah. You're a healer warrior, bridge.
Yeah.
That's the Dolores Cannon's work.
We are in an absolutely incredible time. Of course, there's people in pain, and we have to recognize that, but we shouldn't dwell on that. And we've had a lot of loss during this, but it's always darkest before the dawn. That's just the reality of things. But everything's going in the right direction. I mean, there's one thing I keep referencing when I talk to people. They're like, "Oh, nothing's happening." And I'm like, "Really? Okay." This is the first time in I can't imagine how long where you didn't have any Clinton in power, no Cheney in power, no Bush in power. And the list goes on and on. It's the same thing in your side of the world over there. There's so many power structures that literally are non-existent anymore. And I think they're probably not even around. I know that triggers some people, and I guess here we go.
I am sure they're not around.
Yep.
100%. I'm seeing people. We've just got a new prime minister allegedly in the UK, Liz Truss, who like nobody's ever heard of before, really. And people are going, "Look, she's a WEF puppet," and I'm like, "Well, really? Or is she playing the part of a WEF puppet?"
Yes. Thank you very much. I've been saying this for a long time.
Yeah, because the British government was dissolved in 2001, and the royal family's been dissolved. It was fraudulent anyway, and this has been going on a lot longer than people realize. It is an amazing time. It is.
Now, people really have to realize that there's a psyop being running on both sides. So, we will absolutely come to the other side of this and go, "Oh, that was a good guy. Oh, that was a bad guy." You don't even know, because they're playing so many parts. And I mean, what if AOC, whatever her name is, Ocasio-Cortez, comes out and she was just playing a part the whole time? You know what I mean?
That's really interesting, because somebody said to me today, I had a phone call earlier, and somebody said, "Do you think this guy's good or bad?" And I went, "Do you know what? I think they probably just played a part."
That's my feeling. I think there's a lot of orchestration going on. I know for a fact, because I've been it peeves me that the white hats, or some of them, are using what I've nicknamed controlled collaboration. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to direct us in a certain direction off of certain topics. They don't want us talking about flat earth. Doesn't matter whether you believe it or not. They don't want that to be a subject right now. They want us to stay away from the UFO subject, extraterrestrial subject. They want us to stay away from. They're trying to get us going into a certain direction, and I can understand why, because they're probably concerned that we can backslide if we're focusing on other things. I have a different take. We're all adults here.
Yeah.
And it's time to treat everybody like adults and let us make our own decisions, and we will resonate with what we resonate with, and we'll expose what we need to expose, period, end of story. It's not about them telling us which direction to go to. So there's some fairly high level people now that I'm talking to, and that's the conversations I'm having with them. I'm just saying, because nobody's asked me. So, okay, they've told me several times that I'm ahead of it. I'm too far ahead of the story, but they've never asked me not to say what I want to say. But I feel like they've tried to direct other people, but I won't be directed. That's just the way it is. It's not going to happen.
My whole body's lit up as you say that, because I won't be directed either. I'm completely independent of anybody or anything. But I've always had this vision. I don't know if I've shared this with you before, of this huge billions of pieces, multi-dimensional chessboard, and we're all pieces on that board. And whatever's going on in 3D is a multi-dimensional chess move. And you being the person, I think what we have in common is that we think for ourselves, and we're open-minded about everything.
Right.
And we won't be directed. Therefore, God directs us in the way that works with that personality.
Yeah,
So
I would
the whole
agree.
thing, I
Yeah,
think
I
the whole
agree.
thing, we're all being moved to this ultimate objective, which is an incredible multidimensional existence.
You know, you make a great point because you're right. We are being directed, but we're being directed by a higher source that I've opted in to be directed by.
Same here.
So, in fact, it's interesting because um, somebody that many of us know told me before that we're working on, or the good guys are working through a better than quantum computer, which is very interesting. And they're running millions of simulations um, per minute of what could happen if they make this chess move or they make this chess move and so on and so forth. And I pushed back on that. I said, okay, so that's the way they're making their decisions. Yes, I said, okay. So what happens to our awesome, amazing, God-given discernment when if that's the way we're doing? Now, if you want to play that with guidance, okay, I get it. So then it hit me after we were off the phone, and I said, I think, and this I have to wear the tinfoil hat for this. I think that he wasn't talking about some form of better than quantum computer running simulations. They're talking about time travel.
Oh yeah.
And if they're talking about time travel where they can look into the future, even if it's an hour, now I can get behind that because the challenge though is who's running the machine.
Yeah.
You know, so if they're a good godly person, then I'm like, okay, I can get behind that, and then that makes a lot more sense to me. To me, now I that I would opt in for, but until then, I'm 100% independent, full force, doing my own thing, and if people wanna join that aspect of the way I think, fantastic. If not, I get it. You know, whatever works for you.
Well, this is the whole point of doing what we're doing. It's and everybody watching this, because every one of us on this planet that has a soul has the ability to affect thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people's consciousness
Mhm.
levels. And I think this is what I love about you is your, and I'm exactly the same, is the collaborative. We're moving into a collaborative period where
Absolutely.
nobody's above anybody else, and we're all holding each other's hands, And I just, as you were talking earlier about giving yourself over to that higher power, I just remembered that I just taken this bracelet off, and this got sent to me, and I have this little jangle on it that says this little thing that says trust.
It's beautiful.
Even when I was out quad biking today, it jangles, and every time it jangles, it's just like a little reminder. Yeah, trust, and I keep saying the same thing. I trust you implicitly, because you have guided me to this point, and I'm loving being alive.
Mhm.
It's wonderful, even though it looks all scary and horrible things look like they're happening. I don't believe any of it. I just believe what's in here, and it's wonderful.
100%. In fact, I resonate with you so much that I'm gonna I had a goal, and this is gonna be a public disclosure. I had a goal. There's been a film that I've been working on in my head. I probably have about 15 minutes, 20 minutes already written, plus, 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 plus. So there's probably an hour there. But it's been in my head for about a year, and I've just been waiting for the right information to come in for me to really finish it and put it out. My goal was to release it on the tour. But you know what? The fact that I'm trying to stick to a timeline doesn't make it authentic, in my opinion. And it just hit me. So I'm going to hold off on that because I have a feeling that our collaboration might do something special for this. And it's so we've heard about the Great Awakening, and I believe the perception, and this is a perception, in my opinion, of the Great Awakening is different than it really is. And my film's is going to be called The True Awakening or something like that, because I think the Great Awakening may be just all the disclosures and us learning everything that we've pretty much been learning in the last few years. The true awakening, I believe, is awakening to our higher self,
Yep.
awakening to how to get in touch with our pineal gland, awakening to the fact that we're limitless.
Yep.
That's what I think the true awakening is. And I'm going to combine these things together. I don't want to give away the structure of the film, but I will to you privately, and you can wrap your head around it. And then maybe it's something we could do a collab on. I think that you would love.
Well, I hope you're using the hero's journey.
I didn't hear you. Sorry.
I said, I hope you're using the hero's journey. In
the what?
The hero's journey.
I'm not familiar with that.
So the heroes in I think it was 1936. A guy called Joseph Campbell wrote a book called The Hero with 1,000 Faces, because he was friends with Jung, and Jung was the guy that came up with archetypes, that idea of archetypes. And in that book, he basically dissected all the stories that resonated throughout history, like the story of Jesus, for example. And he found out that they all followed the same pattern. And I read about this about 25 years ago, and I directed and produced a comedy show about, I don't know, 20 years ago. And my friend had written it, and he'd written this 2.5-hour long script. And I said, this is never going to work because there's no structure and because it's too long. So we cut it down. And then I said, look, we could fit this structure, the hero's journey, and the best example of the hero's journey in cinema is Star Wars, the first one, A New Hope. It follows it to the letter. And I believe Joseph Campbell worked with George Lucas on that. Because, and if you look at the work of David Wilcock, he's talked about the hero's journey being embedded into us on a cellular level, which is why we resonate with that structure. And not just on a micro level, on a macro level, the story of the universe, the 26,000-year cycle is a hero's journey in and of itself. So the reason I'm bringing it up is because it accidentally made me into a West End director, because this thing that I worked on ended up touring for 7 years, went to America, Australia, got turned into a BBC play, and then it went on in the West End, and I was the guy that directed it. But I take no credit for it. It's because it was the hero's journey. So before I get to America, you've got to go and buy that book by Joseph Campbell and then tell me what you think.
Yeah, I will for sure. And then I'll point you to a couple of my films so you understand just the way I naturally do things and see if there's a match there.
We're collaborating already.
I know. It's awesome.
And I'm also looking something up here because,
so you're saying it's possible I may already know it without knowing it.
Well, you'll know it inherently, because I think we all do.
Beautiful.
I'm just going to share my screen with you. This was the second video I did on my YouTube channel. This is not on the original channel because that got taken down. This was on a 2.0 channel that I'd forgotten I'd got. It's not on this channel because this channel is a new one. But look at the second video that I ever made for this channel. What's the title?
Yes. That is amazing because you probably heard me say it, but I often say this so-called sickness and all the stuff that we went through is the best thing that could have happened to us.
Yeah, it's the best thing ever.
The best.
And the reason people can't comprehend that is because people are dying.
Right.
But once you truly understand that you never die, you see it in a different perspective.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree with that. But we're so stuck on our blinders on and linear thought that we don't have the expanse that we need, which is right here. It's all right here. It's in the heart, of course.
So I've been in Africa for about 6 days now, 4 or 5 days, I can't remember. And I've had loads of conversations about DNA upgrades. 97% allegedly of our DNA is junk, right? It's not junk. It's being activated now. That's what they don't want to happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've spoken to 2 people this week that have admitted to me that they levitated when they were kids, but they kept it quiet. I was speaking to loads of people about, I was at a wedding party. I think I've already told you. I've just done another interview with somebody. I can't remember if I've repeated myself, but I having a chat with these people about, what's really going on. I said that, and I didn't know if they were awake or not, which is always a risk, because I know a lot of the people at this party were not awake and they wanted
Yeah.
me to keep quiet about what my theories and ideas, because I fell out with one of them 2 years ago on Facebook. It just totally fell out with me. But, for some reason I'm back in his life. And
No, you know the reason.
yeah, I do.
Yeah.
What I'm saying this really for the viewers, because what I'm finding really powerful is being and I've done this my whole life, to be honest, but just being totally unafraid to tell your version of events to everybody that you come into contact with, because everybody needs to. That's how we do this. We are in it together. We're holding each other's hand. And if you focus on your frequency, and I know a lot of people have been saying that for 2 years, and you've got to do it. You've got to focus on your frequency. And it doesn't mean being a vegan. It doesn't mean drinking alkaline water. Although those things can, if that works for you, great. But what you've got to do is just keep laughing and living in the moment. That's how you raise your frequency truly, and being unafraid. I'm not, I'm going to leave my kids behind for 35 days because where Lewis is and what he's doing is, as far as I'm concerned, it's the front line of this war. Right. And I absolutely have to be there. And people are saying, "Oh, you might get shot, you might get this, you might get that." So what? I don't care. All of us have got to move past fear.
Exactly. We are on the exact same page with everything you just said. I mean, just absolutely nailed it. The proof for anybody watching, the proof is, have you ever been in a room that's kind of just been boring, and somebody with a bunch of people, and somebody walks in and just lights the place up, lights it up.
Me.
There you go. But we're having fun with it, but there's a lot of truth to it, because that frequency, the oscillation that you're at is absolutely effective in a positive way. By the way, there are schlep rocks in the world too.
Yeah.
And for anybody doesn't know schlep rock, I think it was like on Flintstones 2 or something like that. Schlep rock.
This is so fucking weird. I was on the quad bike today and I saw the pebbles rolling on the beach, and I immediately thought of the Flintstones, because this is my psychic shit. This is how I'm tuning. I was tuning into this chat. It had already happened. And I thought about the Flintstones this morning for no reason. And then I thought about the Flintstones, Barney and what's his name? Fred, in their Masonic aprons. Oh, I love the way this works.
This is amazing. It's amazing. And that's why people ask me often, well, why are you always trying to have so much fun? I go, I'm not trying to have fun. I'm just having fun. We're just having a good time, and experience the moment, which it's very interesting, because I can tell you, I think I was just talking yesterday. Somebody gave me a compliment on authenticity, and I said, and I posted something regarding everything right now should be focusing on authenticity. Everything across the board. Now, and so if I'm going to be authentic, I have to say that I've always resonated, oscillated, vibrated, frequency, whatever anybody wants to call it. We label the shit out of everything. Whatever anybody wants to call it, at a very high level. Although I have to be honest and say, I would say most of the time I haven't lived in the moment, because my head was always a day in the future, or a week in the future, or a year in the future, which, because I was a goal setter, I always thought that was very healthy. But the reality is, I step back now and I go, that's not very healthy at all. It's great to set that goal, but I have to be in that moment to understand the journey that I'm on, and be able to resonate with more people and connect. So I didn't connect with people. Like, people, oh, I like Lewis, but I didn't connect with them. And I have to look back within myself and go, oh, course correction, right? And then you just course correct. It's no big deal. So it's very interesting, but I look in the mirror all the time.
Well, with your face, I don't blame you.
Yeah, I know. I'm pretty damn cute. Oh, you cracked me up. This is gonna be fun.
Oh man, we're gonna have the best time.
Hmm. And
Yeah.
for anybody on here, because I don't market myself very well. In fact, I think you do a pretty damn good job. So, it's so funny because my background's a marketer. Like I can market anybody else phenomenally, and they will kick ass based on my.
No, it's so interesting you say that because I've been in marketing for 25 years and I deliberately didn't do any SEO. I did nothing.
Right,
And people were saying, why don't you get a professional background and this professional equipment? And I was like, well, that's the old me. That's what I would have done if I
right,
was doing this as a business or if I was doing this to build a career. I
right,
didn't do any of this for that. I did
right,
this because I was compelled to. And people say, they like my authenticity. They like the fact that I just do it from wherever I am or whatever. And it's like, well, why change that? We're here for the Great Awakening. We're not here to, I didn't start this to have a podcast, but the fact that it's gone on so long means that I'm now doing it all the bloody time. And, there are links below if you want to help support the channel, but I don't force anybody to do that. And if you want to buy my courses, if you haven't got the money, you can have them for free. It's just the way it is. This is the way it's got to be because we're showing the way.
yeah, 100%, 100%. And I guess where I was going with that shameless plug about ready to come right now, is
And that's okay.
right that what I didn't do on the first Truth Tour is I didn't talk about the fact that we have the whole thing online before for everybody to see. So there's a lot of people were disappointed because they were in other countries and other states and they couldn't make it to certain locations. And I should have done a better job saying, well, the whole thing's online where you can watch all the stops. So I'm making sure I'm mentioning it for anybody that's out there that thinks that you're going to miss it. You won't have to miss it because it will be 100% online. All 17 stops you can get just going to truetour.net. So it's there for everybody. And I always have to mention this, and a lot of people say I talk about this too much, but I don't care. I don't want anybody to miss out because they have a financial situation. So if for some reason you cannot make it, just you can contact us through an email or a text message on the website truthtour.net and just tell us your story. If the story's legit, we're going to find a way to take care of you. All I ask is don't take advantage of us because we are doing this from our heart. And if we can help take care of some people, and then those that you that have abundance, feel free to click the donate button too and help us out because I can tell you I'm severely in the hole financially on this, but it's not going to stop me from doing it. We're still moving forward and it will be epic. The first one was amazing and I only see better things and a lot of surprises on this one.
Well, that's the way it works. I've said this before and it still feels a bit silly, but I did get told to make this course that I made when I can't remember what it was, 2021. And when I say get told, but I just kept getting pulled towards it, my intuition, my higher self. And I was like, what? Why would anybody want to learn this? And it was like, no, well, that's why you spent 25 years doing this, because you've now got to teach people to be unafraid of telling their story, speaking out, making money from it if they want to, and I was like, how do I price this? Because in the old days, it would have been, this is a $5,000 course. And I was like, well, I'll price it here, but give it away. And do you know what? People don't screw you. Because most people are good, and most of the people you're talking to, they're all good people.
I agree.
And I also think it's like when you're bringing up a kid, you've got to give them responsibility. Like you said, we're all grown-ups, right? You have to teach them how to be responsible and grow. Lewis is having a yawn in my chat there, so don't worry.
No, that was a cough, actually. That's why I muted myself.
Yeah, I know. It was a cough. It's a cough. Is Mark still on stage?
Mark who?
No, I was just coughing. No, but if you give people the opportunity and you say, look, it's up to you. If you've got, I know people that have inheritances, got millions in the bank, well, good. Pay me $5,000 for this course. But I know lots of other people who've been stiffed by the system and the cabal and through no fault of their own have no money. And I've been there. I've been there multiple times.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And that's what we're about. It's like, this is the way forward, because the abundance that's coming should not, we should, no, I've not met Lewis personally, but I know that he's not in this for the money, and neither am I. Right. And that is amazing. And also, I know what it's like to put something on and just I love the way you put it. I got my ass handed to me. That means he lost a load of money, right? So
Exactly.
if you're watching this and you're rich and you want to come to the tour, donate, because it helps, and we're trying to do something good.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You're amazing, Mark.
No, I'm not. I'm just a bloke in a kitchen. I'm literally a bloke in a kitchen. Look, there's a kitchen. Except this time, I'm a bloke in a kitchen with a fucking swimming pool.
I know that you showed me this morning. That is amazing. Have you taken a dip?
Yeah. I dived in it yesterday. It's so hot here because I've come from Ireland. It's so hot here. I drove for like 3 hours to get here from Marrakesh, and I was like, oh, I'm so tired, because I used to live here. I've forgotten the heat. Actually, by about 3 p.m., you're like, you've got to go in a pool. You've just got to.
So the pools are heated or not needed?
Oh, you don't need to heat anything.
Yeah. Interesting.
I did my washing, and it's all, it's like drying in about 2 seconds. I'm not, Elaine. I'm not showing off just because it's like nice, isn't it? 2 years locked down, and I'm in a villa with a pool, and it's not that expensive.
Looks like fun though.
Yeah. Well, I've got a dinner party tonight.
We're gonna have a lot of fun. In fact, I know you weren't available for our meeting a couple days ago.
Hang on, which one was this?
Tom Numbers was on there, and all of us, we were talking about the tour, and I think you were traveling at the time.
Ah, right. Because isn't there another one coming up, like a marathon?
Oh, different. No, I'm talking about a private meeting for the True Tour staff and admin.
Oh, sorry, I missed that. Yeah, I was traveling.
And what we did at the end of it is we mapped out the fun stuff, because we want to keep our energy really high that we're going to do in between.
Oh, yeah. Bob Joyce, Tabletop Mountain, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. All that fun stuff. We came up with a couple other places too. So we're going to have such a great time on this. I learned a lot of lessons on the first one. And one of it is I have to give my crew a little bit more fun time. So that's what I've added to this. And it's going to be, it already is a blast. I've already manifested it. I can see it. We just get to go experience it. And it's going to be fun. For anybody that will have a chance to attend, we have the most incredible speakers on earth, the most eclectic cast that you can absolutely imagine. And we're doing that on purpose, right? Because once you get the best information that's out there. That being said, you're probably going to get the most out of the connections that you make from we the people in the audience.
Yep.
That's what I have found. The connections are just incredible, where they go, oh my God, they're so excited that they find somebody like-minded in their area. So kind of cool.
Oh, it's mind-blowing. I just did an interview before this because I thought, I'm away for 10 days. I've got to do some work. So I've taken this afternoon to have a chat with you and a few other people. And I just interviewed this woman who came to see me at the live event I did in Birmingham in May. And what she told me in a private meeting was confirmation of everything that I already knew. Horrific beyond belief, right? This is a real amazing woman. And anyway, she's written a book, and I've just interviewed her. And I can see in the chat we've got people like Celine O'Donovan. Hi, Celine. Hope you're enjoying Ireland. Hope the weather's rubbish. People who are standing up. You don't have to write a book. You don't have to have a YouTube channel. Just stand up. We had that opportunity for 2 years. We had the opportunity of not wearing this. Yeah, and I got shouted at. It was horrible. But I stood up. And that doesn't mean, oh, well done, Mark. What it means is I got asked to stand up by God. So I did. And I knew I had to look my children in the eye. if you're watching this and you didn't stand up then, it's not too late. You can still stand up now.
And don't beat yourself up.
We're not going to judge you. Nobody's judging you.
No, it's your time is your time.
You've been through the biggest psyop in history.
Yeah.
You know, nobody's blaming you. It's time to now forgive. Forgive. I did ayahuasca about 5 or 6 years ago, and the spirit of ayahuasca stood me up and put me in front of this painting. And anybody who knows ayahuasca paintings, there's a certain style to them. And this had the word forgiveness on it, and it just came out in 4 or 5D, and I was just there. Forgive. And it just kept saying the same thing. It was like a mantra. And I was being prepped for this time, you know, because I think we've all been prepped for this time, and we're all standing up and doing our bits at different times and different ways. And it's all great. And everybody watching this, you are so loved and appreciated, especially by me, because it's my channel at the moment. But, you know, all of the people that follow Lewis and everything else, I think I'm speaking for you as well. We love you all. And getting together is just going to be so powerful.
Can I add to that? The most important person to forgive is yourself.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's, if you can just, don't judge yourself, just forgive and open yourself up to the love and from the universe, and things just will absolutely come together for you.
It's the toughest one as well, though. I mean, you know, I was talking about this with Maria earlier. Shame and guilt are baked into you as a child, baked in by them. Literally, really, you got to let it go.
Yeah,
because it was never your shame or your guilt. The system is designed to make you, before you're born, to make you into a self-slaughtering sheep, slave that does not know they're a slave. That's what the system has been all about.
It's exactly right. No, you nailed it. This is I hope you said something that hopefully can be a conduit to help people forgive themselves quicker. If they realize first, it's not your fault. You've been absolutely conditioned purposely and controlled and manipulated in a certain direction to feed the cabal. Period. End of story. So just forgive yourself for any wrongdoings in the past. Know that you're amazing, and move forward, and you got this, because we need everybody to ante up and kick in now, because the reality is God already won this battle, but we the people have to ante up and kick in to make it happen quicker. So whether it happens in a month or it happens 20 years from now, really is due to, in my opinion, of how many people come together collectively and help move the ball forward. That's all it is.
You make it sound so easy.
I know. I tend to do that. That's my superpower.
That's all it is. It's just, we're just so with 6,000-year-old reptilian interdimensional motherfuckers with advanced. It's a piece of piss.
It is, but it is simple. It literally is that simple. And it's exciting that it's that simple. The only reason why we think it's complicated, because we've been conditioned to believe that it's complicated.
Yeah, well, 2.5 years, I don't even know what the time is, but I got told to let everything go. I've said this on my channel before, but I'll keep saying it. Let everything go. Every idea, everything that you think you've done wrong in the past. In a way, every relationship, okay? Let them all go, because if they're right, they'll come back to you in the right way. But at the moment, we have to let every single thing go without fear, because the void, the universe, God will take care of you. And God already knows everything about you, okay? This is another thing. Do you agree with that? God already knows every single thing about you, your past lives, your spirit, your soul, everything.
Absolutely.
I don't know about I don't think I've told you about this, Lewis, but during 2020.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell me about your third nipple. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, Scaramanga, nice nipple. Christopher Lee had 3 nipples in The Man with the Golden Gun.
Yeah.
Makes you want to Roger.
This It's gonna be fun. I can't quote movies for the life of me. See, everything I see is kinetic. It's not a visual deal for me. So generally, I don't quote movies, but then if you say it, then boom, it comes to me. It's crazy.
I love quoting movies.
Oh, I didn't know. It's gonna be so much fun.
I want to tell you about my third nipple or my third bollock. You've got an obsession here with body parts, I see.
I do. I really do.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I'm going to have to do some body part joke research just for you. Mental note for self, body parts for Lewis. Right. What I was going to tell you about is that in 2020, I had a life review that was going on in real time. And there were things that I've done and said in the past that were not the best version of me. Let's put it that way. Right. And I had these moments, literally, I had to pull over the car. One of them was so intense. And I had to sit there and get shown this memory. And it was being shown to me. This was from a higher force. It wasn't me doing it to myself. And then I had to sit there and process it. And then ask for forgiveness and forgive myself. Mm-hmm. And I got taken through this process. And if I'm sharing this with the audience, really. But have you had anything like that, Lewis?
Yeah, similar. There's many times where I'm kind of frozen in state. So what I'm doing, I'm frozen, and I see something, and but I have to say, it generally has to connect it with a reaction. So something's going on in my life, and then I may normally react a certain way, and then I get frozen, and I go, okay, this is how I would have handled that in the past, and then I see and replay that story, and I go, whoa, okay, well, that's not who I am. Let's move forward. I call it righteously, and that doesn't put me on a higher level. It's just I like to perform righteously if I can. So then I move forward on it. So that happens often, maybe a little different than yours. It just seems that when I'm in a situation or whatever it is, I go, okay, froze, and it's a split second. So it's something I can see a whole minute in a quarter of a second.
Yeah,
you've gone through that. So it's like the whole story hits me. I go, okay, nope. Now we're going to move forward this way, and it's very freeing. I have to say, it's absolutely freeing. I've made so many mistakes in my life, and I'm going to make a lot of mistakes moving forward.
So you're actually making that happen. You know that.
I know, and just inviting you to the tour.
I didn't realize you were setting me up for a. Well done.
But in fact, one day I'll write a book called Failing Forward, because it's extraordinarily important that we open ourselves up to mistakes and don't run from them, because I think that's the fastest way to learn. So put ourselves out there, go for it. And then, are you yawning? I knew it.
I was just coughing. Oh, he's still talking.
This is fun.
He's talking about a book or something. I can't.
No, I don't know. Whatever, right?
I'm writing a book as well. It's called 1001 Nipple Jokes for Lewis Herms.
I can handle every single one of them.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. If we're doing a live after about day 3, going, help!
Yeah, he's on 760, and I can't take it anymore.
I can't take it anymore.
I can never see another nipple again.
I never get bored of nipples, actually. Fascinating.
Oh, wow.
Oh, this is different. Too much information. I'm a bit giddy. I'm going back to the beach. What else is going on? I saw on Telegram the other day you were talking about 17/18. That was interesting.
Yeah.
You're talking code here, but
I know it's crazy. I believe that so I think the 17, how do we say this? I think the 17 is more a number to help us recognize what's going on. And I believe the real number is 18. It's come to me a whole bunch of times, and that would be maybe 17 plus, and everything else. I believe it may be an intentional diversion also to get everybody focusing on 17, and the real thing's 18. I can go into it in more depth one day, but it's that that keeps coming to me over and over and over, that it's actually 18. 18's where it's at. 18's where it's at.
And
No,
who played 18 in the James Bond film?
I don't know. I have no idea.
John Cleese.
So in the James Bond, so he was called 18?
No, he was called R.
Oh, right. Okay, yes. Exactly right. Okay.
When Desmond Llewellyn was there as, do pay attention, 007, and then John Cleese pops up in a Pierce Brosnan movie. I was the best Bond. No, you weren't. He was all right. They're all a bit dodgy, to be honest. 007. 007 is Tubal Cain. Tubal Cain is the son of Cain, the evil side from Cain and Abel. Cain and Abel. Big in Masonic stuff. Also, how John Dee signed his letters to Queen Elizabeth I. Go and research John Dee if you've never heard of him. He's the guy that sunk the Spanish Armada 3 times off the coast of Ireland using magic. That's all I'm saying. Yes, John Cleese, I think it was Tomorrow Never Dies or Die Another Day or something. John Cleese, Pierce Brosnan quits to him, shall I call you R? Because he's following Q.
Right.
Tom and me talk about the movies a lot. It's all there. I think you're on something.
Well, I talked to Tom about this too, and Tom thinks there's something there too. And I know 18 is 9, which is, as we know, the culmination, and I mean several other things also. So we'll see.
We will. That's the great thing. This is like, I kind of think of this like I used to think of Christmas when I was a kid. Okay. I'd go and look for the presents that my parents had bought me. If I found them, I was actually really disappointed because I loved unwrapping them in the morning. Okay. And, we've got a massive present coming our way. And it's not necessarily a good thing to know exactly what it is.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I love the surprise, frankly.
Yeah, me too. There's nothing better. But we're all scrabbling around. What have you got me for Christmas? What have you got me for Christmas? Chill out. Go out, get a quad bike, go on a beach, go for a swim, have a wank, whatever it is that you want to do, and wait and just enjoy the surprise.
Right. Well, so here's a question people can ask themselves. The ones that are trying to unwrap this present early, maybe they should ask themselves, who's delivering the present? So if you love and trust and respect who's delivering the present, then does it really matter if you figure it out ahead of time? No, it's going to be amazing, fantastic, fabulous, mind-bending, everything you can possibly, more than you could ever imagine. So why try to unwrap it ahead of time?
Absolutely. And we're moving, we're moving. So one of the other things, Lewis, that cracks me up about this time is the obsession that so many people in the awakening community, let's call whatever you want to call it, with XRP, AMC shares, gold and silver. Now, I'm not saying I'm not interested in those because I'm pragmatic. I've got all of those, but I did that as well, just in case. Okay, just in case as you go along. Right. But the material side of this has been really bloody interesting, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think it's sad, to be honest with you, because I see people locking in so hard on the material aspect of this that they're not focusing on the bigger picture.
Well, I'm not talking about truth is making money, because I've got nothing against that whatsoever.
No, I'm not me neither.
The movement generally going, oh, we're all going to be rich.
Yeah, now, that's exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the truthers at all. Yeah, I'm talking about we the people focusing on the monetary aspect of this, and it's going to be. So I like to put it like this. So if anybody could step out of themselves for a second, if it's just a small portion of what we think, that everybody's going to have free energy, everybody is going to have clean water, right? You have to understand first, when you have free energy, you can build your own house because all the machines and everything that are going to be, everything's going to go like that. You can build. You're going to have everything at your disposal you would need. If you have clean water, right, and free energy, together you can till the land and do everything that you want in order to get the best food. So now you're going to have the best, cleanest energy and able to build anything you want, and the best water and the best food all at one time. That's enough for you to have abundance. So the fact that we're focusing on money, what the money can give, I think that's going to pale into comparison to what the developments or the gift of all this other stuff I'm talking about will give. I like, for example, you're in Africa, so this is a great thing. I say this often. I believe the reason why the cabal has suppressed Africa and not let most of it developed is because the people of color resonate naturally at a higher level than pale faces like you and I. I believe that in my heart, that their pineal gland is more in touch. They understand things. They get it. They vibrate at a higher level. They oscillate and understand things that normally we just don't understand. So if you were to let them thrive in the least bit as a Western society does, right, they would have exposed the cabal a lot quicker, a lot longer. So what they've done is they've decimated that continent in large part, right? And that best way to suppress them is that they don't have food, water, and energy, right? So then they're scrambling just to literally put one meal on a table every other day. And if you're scrambling just to survive, the cabal will never be exposed.
And there's lots of evidence to back that up. It's one of the reasons why I put the line in for the children of Haiti, a knife to your gut, in my poem "We See You," because Haiti was very specific, in terms of the harvesting for the substance. It is that those people of color are their preferred source for that, which proves your point actually about the pineal gland in particular. And I love Africa and I love African people, and they're just wonderful. They really do see things differently, and they are full of love in their language. Even like today, there's the guy at the surf village near here. He comes up to me. I've not seen him for 5 years, and he goes, "Mark, how are you, my brother?" He gives me a big cuddle, and it's just like, I'm not saying people don't do that in Ireland or England, but it is a different vibe, and I think you're right. Yeah.
So imagine. So right now I've studied this because I thought this may be something I want to help with in the future, but we may not even need it. There are machines out there right now that can take the moisture out of the air and give you clean water that can be planted anywhere, that the sun can power that unit, so it's self-sustaining. You don't have to run power to it. Imagine if you can put those all through a place the land is decimated. We can do it now.
No, but all the technology is there. And there's a guy, a young guy, I think he's in Kenya, right? I've watched the videos. I can't remember his name. I think it was about a year ago. But he's made engines that run on water that can power your TV, your car, the whole hit. The water engine was here 50 years ago. They murdered the guy outside the restaurant. He said it in his last breath, "They killed me." We had electric cars 100 years ago that had 1,000-mile range and didn't take a day to charge up. I mean, when are people going to wake up to this whole electric car bollocks? It's unbelievable. But coming back to the thing about money and what's coming being like a Christmas present, I just want to share with you, I've materially, I've had everything I've ever needed in my life, and I'm very grateful for that. By far the best present ever given to me was by my daughter last year. And there was a little thing like this, and I didn't know what was going to be in it. And I opened it up, and it was a photograph of her as a 2-year-old holding up a glass like this to me, and me holding up a beer bottle to her. And I burst into tears. That is the kind of present we're going to get.
Yep. Yeah.
Because they're the best presents.
Yes. I'm excited. So It's a lot of work now, but it's okay. It is what it is. But it's coming around, and I mean, there's people that I see from years ago that just were absolutely asleep. They're now starting to ask questions, and that's a big deal.
It is a big deal. It's huge. Huge deal. Big deal. Huge deal.
Huge, 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 huge.
That's what that is my number one priority in America, to get my Trump impression spot on.
You're gonna work on that?
Nick LV is very good at it. Very good at it.
Yes, yeah, he is very good
Yeah.
at it. And you know
Yeah.
who's working on it also? The other Nick, Vinyamin. So they're
Is he?
yeah. So they're all, and I don't work on it at all, clearly.
No, I don't either. But every time someone does it, I feel like I should be doing it, and then I come out of it and it's crap. So I'm going to go and work on that. I'm still good at Sean Connery and Roger Moore and Michael Caine, but I need to update my stuff to act. What's that say? Do you have a bird flying past you? Seriously, something flew by. Yes, the garden's got birds in it. There's a blackbird out there right now, and there's a pigeon dying out there. I was just about to look up spiritual significance of nearly dead pigeon, but then I had to do this call with you. Lewis, anything else before I go?
No, brother. Everybody just go to thetruthtour.net.
It's not the Truth Tour. It's Truth Tour.
Just truthtour.net. And find your ticket there. Find us, and we'll connect. I'm very excited to have you out here. When you fly in, we'll put you up and we'll have a good time.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Take it easy. And goodbye, everybody. Whatever you're doing, live in the present moment and let go of everything.
Beautiful.
See you later.